everybody. It's nice to see you again on Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever part of the world you're watching from, and whatever day you're watching the replay. I hope you're having an awesome day. So up until now, we have been talking about some different tools and techniques to help you through some different points in your life, get you over a hump, get you past an obstacle. You know, and these are principles, these aren't rules, so you can apply these in a number of different ways. You can use them in all kinds of different situations, so it's all good stuff. And the reason for the topic tonight is, over the course of the past few weeks, I've had to explain to a couple different people about going into state, changing your emotional state, your mental state, putting you into a happy place, I guess, or whatever place you want to be in. And here a couple days ago, somebody commented to me, why do you got to be so happy all the time? And I thought about it a minute, and really the truth of the matter is that, you know, I have moments of anger and anxiety and confusion and frustration and all of that stuff just like everybody else. I just choose not to live there. And so tonight I'm going to show you how your emotion is driving your motion. Your emotional state is dictating your series of behaviors. And when we're not getting the results that we want to, it's typically because we're doing the same thing and expecting a different result. You know, there are a lot of people who aren't happy with where they are in life right now, but they continue to get up every day, go to the same job, do the same routines over and over and over again, and can't figure out why they're in the same place they were before. So, if you want to change your results, you have to change your behavior. And to change your behavior, you must change your emotional state. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, there are three things that we need to focus on when we do this. In order to change your state, you need to change your physiology, your focus, and your language. And we'll walk through each one of these. I'm going to walk you through it, and you're going to be fine. But just like all the other tools that I've given you, these things take practice, and it takes time. The first few times you do this, it's going to take a little while, and it's going to feel a little bit uncomfortable. But if you keep doing it, it's just going to happen just like that. How fast can we change your state? That fast. And the thing is, we change our states already. We always have. And the problem with that is a couple of things. Remember when you were in high school and you had a nice weekend, there was no homework, you just sort of chilled out all weekend, hung out with your friends, you roll into class Monday morning, and your teacher says, here's a pop quiz for you. Oh, you just changed your state just like that. You didn't realize it. Or maybe this morning, if you live where I live, you opened up the windows this morning and you saw all the snow, beautiful snow, but maybe you went, oh, not again. You just changed your state just like that. When you change your state, it's going to change your behavior and it's going to change your results. So I'm going to show you how to change those and get us back on the right path. So our physiology, first of all. Let's say for a moment, in the next room is somebody who is suffering from depression. If I ask you to describe the person suffering from depression, how they are standing, we would all probably answer about the same thing. They're slunched over, their shoulders are down, their head is down, they're kind of Raggedy Annish, not real solid. If I asked you, what kind of words are they using? Their language, are they using empowering positive words, or are they using words with a negative connotation? And what is their focus? How are they using their words? Are they speaking clearly and loudly, or are they speaking more soft and almost mumbling when they talk? Probably mumbling, right? We can all describe the person who suffers from depression. But, and I don't mean that in a universal way. We all react to things differently. But there are some things that we find. So, if we change the physiology, the focus, and the language, we can change our emotional state. Now, this person who is suffering from depression, they could give themselves affirmations, and affirmations are a really, really great thing. But if your physiology, focus, and language aren't in alignment with those affirmations, it's not going to do any good. Imagine this person saying, oh, I'm happy, it's a great day, I'm happy. Your brain is saying, bullshit, you are not happy. You got to figure it out. See, we can't convince the brain, we can't trick the brain into believing something that is not true. But we can activate the brain. And when we activate it correctly, we see more results. So the first thing when it comes to physiology is we're taught the power stance. Now a power stance, and there are studies behind this, and I can find them for you if you need me to. I'm not sure where they're at, but I know that they're there. But if you stand with your feet shoulder width apart and your hands on your hips, chest out, shoulders back, chin up, and breathe deep, if you do that for 2 minutes, the researchers found that your testosterone levels go up almost 40%. Your anxiety inducers go down almost 30%. You have better blood flow through your body, you have better oxygen flow through your body, and all of that equates to certainty. So we're not tricking the brain into feeling certain. We're actually changing our physiology so that our brain is feeling certain, and that'll express itself. Now again, this is something that you have to practice. Now maybe this isn't your power stance, because really if you're going to go talk to your boss and you stand outside of his office like this for 2 minutes, they're probably going to call security. So maybe instead of this one, they also found that if you lay back with your hands behind your head and your feet elevated, that produces the same results. Now, don't mistake that with after Thanksgiving meal lying on the couch. That's not going to produce a whole lot of certainty. That's just going to put you to sleep. But maybe it's not this stance. Maybe it's not this stance. Maybe you want to go full on superhero stance, depending on where you want to be and what you want to do, what you're aiming to do. Maybe you want to go like, full on stance. Maybe instead of a stance, maybe you're going to make your move. They teach us to make your warrior move. Make your move. Make your move. Do it 3 or 4 times. Do it over and over and over again. Get the blood flowing. Get the air circulating. And that puts you at the beginning of a new state. Now you have to practice this. So do your stance, whatever stance it is. Do your move. Do it often. Do it whatever you're going to do. You'll start to see the changes. The next thing is focus. Where focus goes, energy flows. We've talked about this before. We've talked about the results, the outcome, and focusing on those. We talked about the little girl who's riding her bike and she's focusing on that pothole, and every time she hits that pothole, she falls over. Why? Because she's focusing on it. That's where all of her energy is going. So you have to focus on something that's going to be beneficial to you. Let's say for a moment, take a moment in your life, whatever it may be. Everybody is different, I understand. Maybe you have a loved one who is battling an illness. Maybe you have a business who is teetering on bankruptcy. Maybe you have your own financial worries. Maybe you have relationship troubles, whatever it may be. Think for a moment, worst case scenario in whatever that situation is. Worst case scenario. Now suddenly you're starting to focus on fear. If you focus on fear, you're going into an emotional state of fear. And if you're in an emotional state of fear, you're going to have fearful behaviors. And with fearful behaviors, guess what your result is going to be? And now your brain is going to come back and say, see, I told you so. And it begins this vicious cycle of negativity. And those are the cycles we get into. It's like opening up the window and seeing the snow, the anxiety, the depression, the fear, the pain, the whatever it is. We can go into those states like that. Why? Because we have always done that. I don't know why we go into states in a retrograde sort of fashion. We go backwards when actually it's those states we need to be working out of. So we go into those bad states so often that they become habit. Now these are things you're going to have to practice over and over and over again, because we need to create new habits. We just have to. Now, let's ask a better question. Instead of focusing on the fear, instead of focusing on the worst case scenario, let's focus on something positive. And we don't have the time to walk through this now, so this is something you have to do on your own. But think for a moment in your life where you were the most proud. Maybe it was your kids, maybe it was your accomplishment, the birth of your children. Maybe it was when you were 12 years old and you won the 6th grade shot put competition. Maybe that's your proudest moment. It doesn't matter what it is, but pick that moment. Now, spend some time doing this. This takes some time. But go into your mind, close your eyes and go into your mind and fully immerse yourself into that moment. Imagine the way you were standing in that moment. You can see yourself, you know you were there. Imagine the way you were breathing. Imagine the way your heart was beating, the expression on your face. Hear the sounds that were going on around you. See the people that were there with you. Imagine that moment. I mean, fully, completely submerge yourself into that moment. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to take that moment and use it as a placeholder. With those placeholders, that's like your safe place. So when you need to go someplace, when you need to go to a good state, that's the one. Now, here's where practice has to come in. Because we are so used to going to those negative places, that's where our mind is going to want to go. So you have to practice going to these positive places. That was pride. Use excitement, a moment where you were most excited about something, or a moment you were of gratitude where you were most grateful for something, and fully immerse yourself into those. Use 3 or 4 different ones. Because when you have to go into state, that first one might not be readily available in your mind. So you've got 3 or 4 of them lined up and backup just in case. You've got relievers ready to come in. So go to those. So I want you to go to these places often. I want you to go to them while you're driving to work, while you're sitting at your desk, while you're sitting in the bathroom, taking a shower, whatever it might be. Put yourself into that place for a moment. Just close your eyes and fully submerge yourself into that place. Those are going to be your placeholders. Now, when you go to that window in April and you open it up and you see all that snow, you can have that moment of, ugh, but now you have a placeholder. Now you have a state that you could go to that immediately changes your emotional reaction, that will immediately change your behavior and give you different results every time. Let's say you go into work after seeing all the snow and you have to deal with that coworker. You know the one I'm talking about. We all have that coworker who's chipping all day long, trying to get under your skin. All day long, chip. Now, you can engage, but if you engage, that's going to put you into that emotional state. And you have a whole series of behaviors that are going to go down that path, and you have a result that's going to go down that path. Now, with your placeholders, you hear the chipping and you can shut them out right now. Now, here's your focus, here's your emotional state. And there's a whole new series of behaviors here, and there's a whole new result that's going on here. This is the one you want. You don't want to deal with all of that. You let them deal with that. And I'm going to show you how to deal with that in just a moment. Because now we're going to change our language. We have to be very cognizant about the language that we choose to use. Are we using positive, empowering words? Are we using negative words? And we all do it. I fall into the trap too, and people catch me, I catch myself, and that's okay. Recognize where they are and make that switch. It's okay. So instead of that coworker, now that coworker we used to refer to as that little bleeper bleeping bleeper 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 bleeping bleeping bleeper bleeping. But now we're not going to. Now we're going to, instead of calling them a bleeping bleeper, now we're going to refer to them as our worthy adversary. Same person, just taking a little bit different spin on it. Now what you can do is refer to them as that. You can say to them, "Oh, thank you, worthy adversary. I appreciate your opinion." And you can deal with, stay on this road, stay on this focus, this emotional state, and you're okay. But if you choose, Go talk to that worthy adversary. Here's something that's really going to stir things up. Go to the worthy adversary and say, thank you, worthy adversary. Thank you for making me the person that I am today. I appreciate you. That's going to throw them for a loop. So not only are you in this emotional state, you've got these behaviors going on and you've got this outcome you're going to deal with, but now you've just turned the tide on him. Do you think you just changed his emotional state or her emotional state? You absolutely did. And now they're going to have a whole new series of behaviors and a whole new series of outcomes that they're going to deal with. So it works many ways. So remember that if you change your emotional state with your physiology, your focus, and your language, practice these things. It takes time. The first few times that you do this, it's going to take a little while. It's going to take a little bit of work. But honestly, the more you do this, the faster you can change your emotional state. If you change your emotional state, you will change your behaviors. If you change your behaviors, you will change the results. Change your state, change your life. Thanks for joining me, everybody. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your week. Don't forget to comment, like, share, all of that great stuff. I love seeing all that stuff. I love you guys for watching me. Have a great one, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.